welcome anybody who happens to be listening in as we get warmed up in the official DTube Discord. We would love for you to join us. Today, highlighting anime for the world. Hopefully he makes it in with us. Background beats provided by Staten, original DTuber. Enjoy while we get organized.
should rap on that later on from whatever.
Alrighty, guys, let's spin this up. Welcome to the One Love community live stream. Coming at you today, proud to host the original DTubers talk in the official DTube Discord. My name's Cam. I go by Dookie most places. I am founder, One Love Community, and proud to state that our background beats provided by Staten, fellow One Love community member. I might be producing us our own beats in the near future. Stay tuned for that. But today, we're talking original DTubers, and lined up for today is Anime for the World. Previous talks, we have had everybody from Buckcoins. We had Asid Ali, who is known as A1 EDU Tech Tube on DTube, and Tib Fox. So today with Anime for the World, another One Love community member, I am pleased to have with me today the dude. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I just missed my name in your list of people you have grilled already. I feel grilled. And
Well, my name's not in that list either, and I get grilled every episode, so...
yeah.
Seems like it's...
That's probably why my name is so different today.
You're the unverified. Oh, who we got? We got Looking. Welcome, Looking. We're still waiting for Anime for the World. I'll do another ping in the general here. Come on, Anime. I've already messaged them directly. If not, maybe we'll just bring on Looking, as he is in listening and always seems willing to engage with us. Another One Love community member following through to support DTube, trying our best to fill in the void of communication and engagement. Our community builds several different services that currently offer uploading features, but the biggest thing I'm working on is this curation aspect, and you know, all hands on deck when it comes to that, because it's all about highlighting the best content, which brings me back to this original DTuber. How you could become an original DTuber. Now, if you head to
Don't
the
ask
original...
me, huh?
Come on, we know your points on this subject. I think there's something you gotta meet to be able to hit the list, and that might be verification of self without the sass.
What the hell you talk about? I don't understand actually. May I need some English lessons?
Yeah, maybe we all need English lessons. But the idea is to help new DTubers get a boost, people that need a little bit of a start to help them verify their channel and begin their journey on DTube, finding subscribers. By being entered into this list, voters know confidently that you are safe to vote on, aka you create original content, you're not stealing other people's content. As you can see, it's a pretty long list of creators already, and it's gone on to a second message and it continues to grow. General idea is you take a piece of paper and you write original DTuber on it. You hold it up at the beginning of your video. I am an original DTuber. You say something about yourself, and then that's kind of how you do it. And One Love will follow up with sending you 10 DTC once Tib Fox confirms that you've done your part of that, and then you could be featured on these shows coming in future, where if you're a arranged scheduled guest like Anime for the World today, you could earn 10 DTube just for coming on and introducing yourself. And then anybody that joins in as viewers, ask a question, one question per person per show. So every week you could earn 1 DTube just for asking a good question that you've probably had racking your mind the entire week. Let's see if Nanel or Nazmal wants to come on here. Invite to speak. Hey, looking. Since we're waiting on anime for the world, how about you join us? I'm pretty sure you're in that list, aren't you? Nazmal Huda's got to be in that list. Oh, I don't see you in that list. What happened there? Yeah, this is the joy
You want
of...
me to answer that one?
Maybe not. We'll leave that for an offline discussion.
Yeah, okay.
Try to be somewhat professional as the representative of DTube here, but as I stated, I am like the DTube frickin' class clown. There he is, Nazmal Huda, 12. He was one of the first ones to do it. He's only 10 down or so. So, as we wait for anime for the world, maybe we'll just turn up some tunes a bit. Give 5-10 minutes, and if he doesn't poke his head in by then, I'll carry on and maybe ask dudes some questions once again.
It's just my mom just called. She died yesterday, so I need to leave the stage quickly.
My mom just called. She died yesterday. Fuck. Okay. Give us 5 with some tunes. We'll all shift to some questions or something. Dang you, anime. And time zones. could try do. Goof around with those overlays while we wait, dude.
But how can you? But we have no video here. You're still playing around on Restream.
No, I'd be doing it on the OBS. Because that's the other option I have, is doing overlays on OBS, using them in a similar fashion as Restream. But no, I want to use Restream, I think, because it'll now allow our team to join in and do the show in replacement of each other. In that fashion, we could even get the official DTube team to like host shows utilizing our service, and hopefully then get things going out to official DTube. That'll be impressive. Official DTube live show. That's a good gift there. It's basically what I'm doing. Where are you, anime? I kind of expected this.
Well, you talk to who you talk?
I talk to anybody that's listening. No, Nazmoli dropped the link in general there. It's a kid waving, looks like a brush or something. Yeah, that's basically me waving my hand at anime. Where are you? But life of a live host, you learn very quickly not to count on anything to go to plan and to have backup plans for every scenario, so the fallback is always to have some good music to throw on.
Yeah, that's called being a radio DJ.
That's right. And then having you as co-host, Greg, can't go wrong. Constant sass.
I can't hear you.
I guess that's your own benefit then.
There's some strange guy talking into the stage all the time here.
Yeah.
Nazmul Huda, he just said like, so he's always listening to you. So if he's listening to you, he can't listen to me. So I need to shut up so he can listen to you.
That's exactly it. This is the Dookie only show today. Nobody else gets a chance to talk. I'm gonna grill myself, how about that? I could do that. That was one of the ideas I had as a backup. Do a humorous self-grilling.
Okay, so what's your worst crypto mistake, Dookie?
Oh, my worst crypto mistake? That would go back to getting involved with crypto in the first place, but not having any idea what I was doing. I signed up for a click ad company when I was running a server, and I ended up walking away from that community, shutting down that server, and not following through with anything, not understanding that crypto was going to explode. And there's a wallet somewhere out there with 2 Bitcoin that the keys are lost to because the company went under in the collapse of the Bitcoin bubble. So if I had understood that I needed those keys, I may have anywhere upwards of 2 Bitcoin at my disposal. Definitely the worst mistake I ever made.
Okay. So next question. What was your very first reaction to crypto blockchain technology?
My very first reaction was thinking it was a scam, that it was a Ponzi, that anything that didn't have a real world value or representation of value didn't actually deserve to have any financial value. But yeah, that led me into investigating crypto and understanding what intrinsic value is.
Well, it's not it's not more a Ponzi than the dollar or the euro. Actually, it's the same kind of it's a monopoly money, you know.
It is. To really look at it and understand what you're dealing with, you kind of gotta realize that nothing has value without interest, and that even the things that we back with something like gold, the value it's backed with is a representation of the interest in that gold, not really a representation of the cost that it takes to produce the gold, and likewise has value because of that.
Imagine everybody would run and change their money into gold or silver. I believe that the banks probably would run out of gold and silver quite quickly.
There's limits on the amount any single institution is able to exchange. You could go the opposite. They'll buy as much gold and silver from you, and there's no restrictions on it. But I've heard here in Canada, there's actually a restriction on how much you could buy in like a year per se.
Okay, so to the next question. Who do you look up to, if anyone, in the crypto space?
Now,
formerly, and please don't say me. Please don't say me, yeah?
Yeah, my line. I won't, even though I do. I won't say you. No, I would like to say my former mentor, D News, but I can't say that he's really in the crypto space anymore. He kind of stepped out of it, but he was more like my self-empowerment kind of mentor. Someone that I look up to in the crypto space is actually Dan Lamar. And that could get me a little bit of flack, as he has the mindset of building something that solves the problems, and when he's met with the issue that he can't overcome, he's not willing to walk away and start fresh, which at some times, you know, he's one of the founders of Steemit. Steem ran its course seemingly, and he left very early, but that was kind of like the same issues that he pointed out were largely what came to fruition. And yeah, we're still dealing with consequences of things that he pointed out very early as his reason for wanting to start something that solves those issues. So he gets a lot of flack, but he is kind of like a revolutionary in the industry, so I look up to him.
I've never really researched the guy, but for what I know from the stories and the hard time people giving him about Steam and stuff, I imagine he's quite a genius guy. Quite a genius on everything with this crypto space stuff like blockchain and technology. He kind of sees through. He's the Neo of Steam, of the crypto space kind of.
That's a good way of putting it. You know, and anything that causes so much change is naturally going to be rejected by people that are familiar with something, right? So he was an interesting individual. I don't know if I really follow him and what he says so well, but as someone that revolutionizes the space, he's definitely up there.
Yeah. That brings us to the fourth and last question of the grilling of this week's questioning. Dookie, what was your best crypto decision?
My best crypto decision to date was learning how to support the blockchains that I'm a part of. And to be more specific, simple things like operating a curation trail, right? Learning how to fire up a node. And then most recently, so that would have been witnesses previously that didn't necessarily earn anything in return, but I learned. So then my best decision would be supporting the DTube platform for the sake of the return that I get for my time, as well as the response from community. I find it empowering to see people support me that don't necessarily know me from a hole in the ground, when there's 13 other leaders that have by far more dev experience. So it's the learning how to provide to the projects that I'm a part of, is the best crypto decision that I've ever made. That it relates to the most return that I've had.
Yeah, okay. So we skipped the part where you asking me some questions, because we know that we go just not the way it should go.
That'll go down the rabbit hole.
Not today.
Let's see if Looking has any questions for us. Nazmul Huda, if you got any questions.
Looking.
Yeah,
But
he
he's
usually is
looking.
just looking. Let's see. Any questions for us today? One DTube on the line. But 20 cents. We're almost giving you a quarter for your thoughts. I can't help but be a smart ass today. As I was saying, am I the class clown of DTube? And it kind of seems that I am, especially leader that makes a joke of everything.
It's not joking. My question is, but where are all these original DTubers? You propose, you give a stage for them to exchange, and nobody's here. Actually, I'm quite surprised.
It's been a bit of a rough week getting a hold of anybody, as we're seeing. No question for now. Okay, Nazmul, that's okay. Anime is distracted with life, I think. He said he was going to be here, but I'm pretty sure his travel got all screwed up. Because he's usually on his way home and linking up with other people. I was really lucky with Buttcoins. He was super forgiving on his time frame. Other shows, I might need to adjust the time frame to suit people better. And like Nazmul was saying, a lot of them don't really feel confident speaking live on camera with a limited ability of English. On camera, yeah.
Camera?
Well,
Camera?
on stream.
No camera.
It goes out live. There is a
Okay.
live video feed, so it's just me and the Discord chat currently.
Yeah.
But yeah, the with OBS I could play a video, so I might be able to in future line up more of an interview style with some people, do it in private, record it, allow them to have the ability to re-say things that make sense if they're having a hard time with English. Also the ability to hide identity, maybe voice modulation for some people because we have anonymous people, and yeah, really just trying to be as accommodating as I can for everybody. So yeah, as always, just hit me up and DM on Discord if you want to be featured on the show, and we'll figure out a way to do it that best suits you.
Anonymous? Like I've seen last time you had this strange guy with a red nose on your show. What the hell?
Yeah. Who is that guy? The guy behind you?
He must be an unverified original.
I think so. With a goldfish brain.
Yeah. Some fresh fish today?
As long as the thought is contained, it's alright. Yeah, looks like anime is dropping out on us. Oh, that's alright.
Yeah, but too much smoke. He said he's staying home today, actually.
Was he? Is he not feeling well?
Well, I don't know. I read something like he's staying home, no work today, something. But if he has nice weather like we have here, he's probably outside in the sun. Don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, likely. Oh well. Another day. Next week. It's always good to get together. So while we're here, we can release some tidbits. AMA is a bit of a flop. The original DTuber's a bit of a flop, but one thing I can always do is release some information from the DTube dev world, where I say things that I probably shouldn't. Like, we are working on a mobile application. It is in the works. It's official. We have one person putting together the proof of concept, and from there, hoping... Oh, pardon my dog here for a second.
Well, he doesn't agree like I don't agree to. I shouldn't be just... Well, no, I won't. I shut up.
No, somebody's knocking on the neighbor's door. Here, you don't need to be barky. Good boy. Yep. So yeah, we're working on a proof of concept, and we'll be getting that out on GitHub. And from there, hopefully people are able to contribute. We can start pushing for feedback, feature requests, what people want. And I'm thinking that'll actually be a big proportion of the beginning of our social media campaigns, which I'm on that team. I haven't been given instruction to do a whole lot yet, so I'm just trying to keep in contact and organize the community, organize these events. I'm doing a feedback form. It's an unofficial feedback form, technically, but I'm going to relay that to the team so that anything that I do come up with for feedback for DTube, we could gather it in one location and review it on GitHub, anywhere that, you know, we can manage to coordinate. So Macron has been talking to me about, well, talking to us, the team, about organizing with a contributions page, and somewhere on a official scale to go for feedback and whatnot. That's going to be put together, and then also like job listings. So then I could take any of the official job listings and start doing promotions to fill the positions that we need to get the jobs done. So like the mobile application, one of the team happened to pick that up. So that's kind of off the list for the time being, but when that gets open onto GitHub, we may end up having some specific feature that we wish to have developed, and DTube team might put a dollar figure behind it. So then I could take that to something like LinkedIn and Facebook and use targeted ads to be able to promote it and bring in the people that we need, as well as hopefully new users, of course. That's the big metric, is how do we get new users? It's leading the discussion in the leaders channel right now. How do we enable? Yeah, go ahead.
This question, even like on Steam time, since ever I'm on these blockchains all over the place, the same discussion. How do we bring people in? We're going to Twitter, we're going to Facebook, we're going to whatever to bring them over here. To me, that's kind of strange, because people are on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. They're not really. They fine. They comfy. They have an application that's working excellent and have everything they need. Why should they leave for something complicated and not really complete with the stuff they might probably need? So looking for new users, as long as the own application is not really working fine or well. I'm a bit of a dickhead here, but if you're looking for these people, they say, well, what the hell? Why should I come there? You know, I need to have some keys to log in, and I can't just download an application and then I have to secure the whole thing, and I don't know. That's not the way. To me, that's never been the way. It's more like you produce something, or you offer something the people just want to have, and they're coming by themselves. The moment you have to advertise for your product, something's wrong with your product.
I agree.
That's my point.
I agree.
On all of them, Steemit, Hive, DTube, whatever, they all have a problem, and they don't work on the problems. They work on bringing the people in instead of working on the problems.
Yeah. See, and I've been trying to drive that point home in the leader conversations, that the biggest issue that we need to overcome is the user experience, which would relate to the key handling, all these silly little things that separate us from mainstream platforms. The other point of what you're getting at is the product, like the actual product itself, where what do we have that other platforms don't? Because that's kind of how you compare your product, right? If our product is in competition with, say, YouTube, BitChute, Libri, and whatever other video platform out there, what is it that separates us above and beyond all those other platforms? And that is the thing that we need to focus on and then market, because it's not going to be the fact that we're a video sharing platform because there's 100 of them. It's not going to be the fact that, you know, we have a community, because you could go anywhere and find a community. And it's not going to be the fact that we're all of a sudden trying to pick up social media activity that we start getting all the new users. Because if we don't handle the user experience, which relates to user retention and user loss, then we're not going to actually solve the problem and bring, keep the people that we do bring in while spending all that money on marketing. So it seems like a very convoluted problem, but the answer, I believe, is really simple, and it's based on focusing our marketing on the parts that are strong with DTube. Part of that is the incentivization. You immediately get money, but you're also in control of your content and your viewership. And you're reward, and then there is the decentralized nature of the content itself being able to skirt censorship. So even if you do face somebody flagging your content on the platform, if you're someone that backs up your content, you can completely skirt all censorship whatsoever, which has value, but it isn't applied in the best way yet, right? So that'd be a good example of how to apply that value of self-hosting is through the mechanism that 3Speak is building. And I'm watching that carefully, how they're rewarding hosters for hosting content. And there's potential for us to incorporate that system, if not a very similar system, into DTube to then have a network of IPFS nodes backing up everybody's content, earning rewards for doing so, while then also providing the hosting for the content on the platform to remain uncensorable, even if it happens to be, attacked by flags and get trolled, and essentially somebody tries to silence them on the platform with significant stake. The content is still discoverable, which another little thing that has come out is like talking about how we could list that content, right? Because currently controversial content is just hidden. The default settings hide it. People that tag NSFW, it hides it. So if there was the separate categories for NSFW as well as controversial content, you could have trending controversial content that's been flagged to oblivion, and it's controversial because of how controversial it is. And that would give back the author the viewership that he's losing through the silencing of being flagged and hidden. Now
that's one of, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. That's a big one that I'm still trying to understand how it relates completely to the platform.
Yeah, that's to me, because like you see in the streets, you walk in the streets, and you got the guys in the cars clunking all the time, like meep, 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 and then shaking their fist and whatever. So I'm thinking, if you got the time to hit the horn, you have the time to brake, to slow down or to brake. You don't need to hit the horn. That's just like a selfish ego thing, like I'm coming, so get out of the way or whatever. It's the same kind of behavior to me in this environment. If people would realize that this tool is the way the future will go, will bring us, and just work on it for the best. We don't need to downvote posts just because we're not agreeing it. That's just a behavior of the old society, like kind of I'm not happy with what you do, so I don't show it. So I show it to you because I can, so because I got more power than you, and that's just like small. That's I don't even know the names.
How do you account for, in a truly decentralized space? Now we're bringing up the subject of, how did I phrase this before? Freedom of speech and responsibility of speech per se. So if you're going to say something that's controversial, you're likely, especially in a decentralized environment where no one's stuck with accountability to their own actions, you're likely to feel the full force of their rebuttal, justified or unjustified. So the question comes down, how do we account for that behavior? Because we're not going to change humanity overnight. The only way humanity...
but we could work on a better tool, a better application, a better way to separate things. if I'm not interested to see NFS stuff, NSFW stuff, or whatever, not suitable for workspace, if I don't want to see that, give me the opportunity, give me the possibility in my profile to just hook the little thing and saying, don't show me that at all.
Well, it already
So
exists, right?
whereby
And
it's
for
just blurring out the thing
NSFW.
and it still shows up in my feed. So I don't want to see stuff like that in the feed. I don't need
So
to have a
just
blurred out thing.
select hide then. But that is
Why?
an example of a
That's
tool on the user's end, right? So
but if
you would
I
need
set up
more
my account,
tools.
I go through all this stuff. So if I got the possibility to mute or to hide that, I gonna do it. I don't need to protect others from what's going on. I don't need to download all the stuff. It's like Nanal's downloading everything from RT International just because it's Russia propaganda for him. So I don't ask him to be my fact checker. And RT International is as good as every other media outlet out there. So if they decide to come over to DTube and be a part of DTube to show their videos, that should be just nobody choosing themselves to be the dictator who decides what's propaganda and what has to be shut down and what not.
Well,
That's
that's
all together with that. So
questioning the entire curation system, though, dude. And then
yeah, but if
relating the
I'm
curation
that's
system to something that's separate from the curation system, because curation currently relates to ranking as well as reward, which curation should not essentially be the only thing determining ranking, which is what I'm hinting at, right? So if there was like the creation of its own category, controversial, like say right underneath new, there's controversial, which then works on a basis of the algorithm between flags and votes. Then the question of whether or not that content is being discovered goes away, which should bring back the real question of whether or not the community accepts what's going on that content and the reason for it being controversial, the flags. What's happening currently is that it's hidden by nature, so no one sees it, no one can rebel. And what happens is people that'll have flags on their accounts will disappear. They'll get flagged a couple times, and oftentimes they're like, okay, well, screw this, I got flagged off the platform, I'm out of here. But if their content was put into a category of its own of controversy, which we would likely have activists wanting to look at to get involved with the drama, it would then potentially reverse any ill behavior or unacceptable behavior. As example, Nano flagging RT International. If the community here supported RT International, I imagine seeing those things go up in trending or in the controversial, people would feel encouraged to vote it and counteract the flagging. Problem being
but
right
for now
now, we
we
don't
have
have
not
that
really
community.
supporting. Yeah,
We
that's
don't
exactly
have
the
that
thing.
community metric yet. But it's a big issue that relates to more than just like how a channel is discovered even and what's going on. So through everything, we're working to try find a solution. The one thing we can't really change is the actual function of our curation system. We can change details of it, manipulate how flagging works, incorporate things like mandatory burns on flagging so it's not super profitable. But if it's only necessarily the question of the reward being taken away, then it's kind of a moot point because that's the basis of our current ranking. So
Yeah, but
till we devise something new.
If RT International, nobody is watching that, and they do not make any money out of it, so they That's it. It's no problem. It's no need to put a big downvote in it to make money out of themselves just because you can. It's like if I start downvoting RT International because I think it's propaganda, why I should be at least honest enough to go and downvote all the other stuff. It's propaganda too. So nobody's downvoting the Ron Gibson channel. But if you go and check out Ron Gibson channel, it's all about propaganda and war. But
They
nobody's
were
touching that one.
downvoting. They were downvoting it until I happened to mention that he verified his channel on Hive. He was getting downvoted for a while. I don't know if that's a direct relationship to my mentioning that it shouldn't be getting downvoted because they have verified themselves on Hive. I mentioned that publicly, but I did notice that the account was no longer getting downvoted after that. So there is like grounds to it. Now you got to get into each and every situation. Looking at a channel, someone getting flagged, well, it is each of our own decisions. Nothing's stopping me from voting all my content. Therefore, there's nothing stopping anyone else from downvoting it. But the question comes down to usually relevant to personal opinion and votes. Why do I curate? I curate because I love the content that's being created. Therefore, I accept by nature people are going to flag the content that they don't like for the exact same personal reasons. And that is the basis of our curation system.
Another point on that subject actually is like now I'm talk more like on the Hive side. I've seen that many times and kind of pisses me off too. So you got guys, they just a sarcastic pain in the ass, and they like to be that. It's kind of sarcastic comedy, and they on there for forever, and they don't care if you downvote or upvote or whatever. It's just their kind of style to write the text and content, and it's quite funny. Some are really funny and really give some like points to meditate on. So I like that. So I upvote that. I give my money, my consent that this should get a little out of it. But still I can, and you can see some followers they have on with time. They had some followers. You got like 20, 30 followers, and everybody is giving them like 2 cents, 4 cents, and they go up to 3 or 4 Hive. And then is this big ones coming in and says, "Oh, you just a piece of shit, talking I don't know what, and this and that, and just keep it to yourself, and I'm just gonna downvote you now." And then they just take all the little stuff I gave them. Like they haven't asked me if I agree or disagree with that. It's like they take my money out of this pocket. I give you $2, and then some wanker comes around and takes the $2 out of your head just because he thinks that you're not worth it. Though you can see that you got a following, and a lot of people actually like that what you do, even if it's a sarcastic black humor, satire or whatever. But I do not agree on this. If I like something, why should somebody else be just because he can with a lot of more money decide that this guy has to empty his head because he's not agreeing with it? It's the same thing.
If you think about it in the sense of a corporation, it kind of begins to make sense, because you're maybe a mail delivery man within the corporation, whereas he with higher stake may be an executive of the mailroom. But that dude probably answers, to the CEO of the company, and therefore the board of executives. Make sense? It's a really terrible way to make an analogy, a corporation to a decentralized project.
Yeah, but
we're
listen,
trying to
we are
decide the
here.
payout, right? It's like all
Yeah,
of us
we
have
try to
input
build
into a
something together, no?
corporation. Yes, we do. But the community supportive mindset is completely the other direction from a business building mindset. So I'm building a community with business in mind. I actually have to face this fact that corporation is designed with, everybody at the top and they control everything, and everybody at the bottom doesn't really matter. What I say goes no matter what. There's no backwards feed to that. So as a bottom minnow, your input really isn't valued by the people that are up above you, which is a very terrible thing to say. But when it comes down to the stake-based battle and the rewards that the platform is generating, the only thing that actually matters is the stake that's put into it and any political ties that you have, because then it's money and politics that relate to the outcome that you're approved of having. So there's so many stupid little politics that get involved.
Then we have to at least be honest and say, here is money and politics. There's no community. We don't have really communities on blockchain. That's just a big illusion. That's all everybody is in just for money, and well, no rules without exceptions. But the big thing is like the all this big talk about community and stuff. Just watch the history between Steemit becoming Hive. That's not community. It's not a community decision that they separated as Hive from Steam. They made a hard fork out of it. It's nothing to do with community. That's just big talk, like blah blah blah. Nothing else. That's politics and money. And I agree with you.
Yeah,
and I don't mind
the separation. You're pointing out the separation, exactly what I was talking about, how at the top we have the corporation, and each individual might actually be in charge of their own community, but it doesn't mean that the entire Hive blockchain is a community. It doesn't mean that DTube as a whole is a community per se. We don't all get along. We all might be on the platform. We kind of operate in the same ecosystem, and by that nature, we're all part of the same community per se. But when you actually look at Steemit and that Hive fork, there was 5 communities that I could name off the top of my head that rejected the Hive fork, said, this is BS, and then when everything happened, they ended up moving over. But point being is it was rejected. So that then tells me that the Hive fork itself isn't necessarily something that is a representation of all of the communities. But getting into that even more, like at the top, you have money that controls the direction of the platform. And then you try relate to each individual community wanting to go in their own direction. So there are communities, but it doesn't mean that all of the communities are willing to work together. And that is the true value of our decentralized space, I think, is how we are, through trial and error, coming to understand what free speech in a truly decentralized space would actually mean. And we're understanding how money and politics actually control a large proportion of even a decentralized space if it's given the opportunity to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can turn it into a positive. I can. Welcome, 5th CRB.
It's just like, it's sad, that people think you can go into the virtual world and everything change. It doesn't, as long as their own spirit is not really healthy or clean. Never anything will change. That just doesn't work that way. So what outside, so is inside. like up is down.
I just want to reiterate there is no good nor bad, and throughout everything, it all needs to exist. So
It is like that. It's
now
just,
that kind of makes me think that for all of the good that One Love does, we need all of the negative that everybody else is doing to understand the vast difference between the two. And from there, the direction that the platform goes is hopefully reflectant of the approved activity, and how we can build a platform that reinforces, what we expect of our users, what we expect of our investors, and most importantly, have a clear way for people to communicate what they expect of DTube. That's a big one. There's never really been a clear gateway to reiterate what you expect from the platform, because as a user, that's kind of the most important thing, in my opinion. I guess that's about it for today. We'll go an hour waiting for Anime. Take him one last time. Come on, Anime. He's online, but he is not answering. Wakey, wakey. Anime. Oh, well. I definitely don't have the answer. Relevant to stake-based systems, I've expressed my concern of proof of stake, decentralized proof of stake, many times, how governance is controlled, but I also don't see a whole lot of other working options as of yet. I was talking with Cerulean Blue, who was trying to develop a new platform which incorporated ranking, user rankings in an anonymous way directly into whether a user's votes are valued the same as another user's. So it's not just stake based, but it actually kind of creates a social score to then determine how influential your stake can be for the platform. So a new user can't just buy $1 million worth of stake and take over. But that never made it into production. If something like that came up, I would be curious to see how that works, and whether or not you would get past the problems of people flagging each other for the sake of taking rewards and such, or if it would only add to the problem, seeing as there's a secondary form of punishment. People might use it to try skirt punishments further while enabling themselves to anonymously, continue on being a nuisance. So, we saw they took away the flag option on Blurt, and it kind of caused a whole range of its own problems. So discussion of removing the flag, I think, is kind of off the table. It's more a matter of figuring out how to correctly rank the content that is being flagged. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you, dude, for joining me, for me being able to turn your discussion points around on you.
Yeah.
I try.
Well, I'm sorry to have brought so much negativity into the chat, but sometimes it's just yeah, necessary to talk about stuff. It's really important too.
Well, I mean, we can talk about it. I'm not too concerned. We recently had an original DTuber. I think he was on the list. Boba Fett. Pretty sure Boba Fett was on the list. Boba Fett, original DTuber. Recently left DTube because of the complications that we're talking about, and finds himself now on 3Speak. Yeah, it's an interesting situation because we can't really control anybody's actions, and yeah, I really hate to see somebody leave, but at the same time, if you're not getting the experience you're expecting from what you're putting in, it seems logical to me that people will make similar decisions. That's where I believe, despite rewards being taken, if the user's content, hold on, Jerry. If the user's content is still discoverable, then the user will still largely feel supported by the platform. And for those that post controversial content, it might actually give them what they're wanting. That, look, I'm trending of controversial, 2 middle fingers up to the world, you can't stop me sort of attitude. There's a whole metric there to potentially harness.
Yeah, but it's the whole part of this hypocrisy. We are decentralized, nobody can mute you, this and that. Come over to DTube Hive or Steam or whatever, and then they come over, and then you got a lot of a whole bunch of people downvoting you, telling you, hey, listen, you're doing crap, I don't like it, gonna downvote it because I can have a lot of more power than you, and you're not allowed to have money out of our pool and this and that. That's just like, no, sorry. Bring in more people, work on a better application, and all the problems we have on the blockchains, and build it better so the people come in masses, and then we won't have all these problems about people abusing the system. No, it's nobody's really abusing the system. Sure, you have some that really just dickheads, but they dickheads the whole all over the place, even in real life probably. Just, but if you have the masses, and because your product is good, we don't need to reduce and blur images and incomes for people. They don't get incomes because nobody's reading and listening and upvoting. We don't need any dictatorship and fact checkers, not even voted for. It's just like they are self-crowned fact checkers and kings and queens to because they can. If we have masses, they can't anymore. So to bring the masses in, we need an application. It's really like attracting people. It's not like spending money for marketing on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all the crap out there. We need to get rid of that. But the people don't get rid of that. They actually say, go and create a Twitter account to do this. Go and check on Facebook to bring more people in. So actually they're supporting the other platforms. And all these platforms probably just laughing and saying, hey, you see, blockchain, whatever, but they still come over here and they have 2 or 3 or 4 accounts. That's just, I don't know. Hypocrisy at its best.
It kind of has to do with marketing and the new age form of marketing. If we were to go back 10 years, and say DTube was to go bang out some marketing, we'd probably be trying to buy a billboard, do radio advertisements, potentially maybe buy a TV slot, things like that. But the realm of marketing shifted into lead generation, largely brought through Facebook, LinkedIn, Google. But the real benefit of using any ads like that isn't necessarily to bring in the new users. It's more for the lead generation than anything. Yeah, we're going to be targeting new users to try share our ads, to try engage with it, to try get it in front of more people. But largely the payment of the ads is going to be targeted at developers, at software engineers. There's also a tool I've discovered. I'm not sure if I'll be able to use it, but for actually kind of blind emailing the heads of companies and doing lead generation that way. We talk, and this is the thing, is the corporation, Hive, will talk down to its users to invite users, because users are what then create the activity. But largely it's that funneling of activity that then will generate the larger leads, which relate to further growth. So one thing is like DTube needs like actually influencers, people that are influential elsewhere, to then be a representation of their activity on the platform. So I'm kind of an influencer in a way, but I'm not as effective as I could be because I'm not trending anywhere else. So I'm an influencer on the platform to the platform. But if we, let's per se, as you're saying, everybody's reaching out to these other platforms, we need to build the tools, have the product functional, so that then the people can use their influence on other platforms to then support their own activity on our platform. And that's the concept of the partnership program, how that was first designed, and I believe it's going to be redesigned and re-released to enable even base level users to take part in it. But as you said, we need the tools and everything in place to actually make any use of anything we're doing on social media, because the user still lands on DTube and is faced with the inability to create an account, or loses his keys because they don't understand crypto or the like. Then it's lost efforts and lost leads through the lack of people signing up and being active on the blockchain, to then drive a higher DApp ranking, to then maybe get other projects interested in partnering with us and be listed on further exchanges. And I can see how it builds out, but you are right, dude. The product needs refinement before we're going to be able to get there effectively. We're working on that. Team Humble.
Yeah,
there.
okay. I'm gonna sit and wait then.
Yeah, well, that's what we're all doing. I'm waiting too, and I'm good at talking about the future and what I hope and believe we'll see. But yeah, ultimately, I'm waiting along with you. I can't push these things forward myself. I rely on the DTube team, our developers, anybody out there that's interested. DTube is looking at hiring people. Let them know what your skills and abilities are. We needed a web developer. Likely going to need mobile developers to help us expand the mobile app once it's on GitHub. We need somebody that is extremely efficient with the lead generation ads for Facebook down the line when we get there. And myself, I'm kind of trying to head up the community. I get to be your mouthpiece.
Still sit and wait.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for joining today, Team Humble and Filth. DCRB. If you guys got any questions, drop them in general. Feel free. I'll give an answer. 1 DTube per question. With a count of 10. Then we're closing it for the day. Sadly, we didn't have Anime for the World with us. Not sure what happened. He may even be having internet troubles. Says he's online. I'm not getting a response. Usually he's pretty good at responding. At least after an hour.
Yeah.
I don't think he goes longer than an hour without looking at his phone.
Just because I can, Team Humble, really like to thank you for all the good videos you post here on DTube. It's just awesome. I learned quite a lot of things, and I'm really glad and looking forward to your new videos. Something to learn, something to understand a bit more about crypto and stuff. It's excellent.
You're hilarious.
He's got a mouthful, I think.
Yeah, he's eating a sandwich even when doing his videos. He's actually eating sandwich before he starts videos.
I always eat I eat all the time. Are you really gonna like play that whole like routine and line? We all know you're an old school Linux hacker, dude. Come on.
I'm not an old school Linux hacker.
No, me neither. At all.
I think the dude is, though.
Dude is a hacker, and he pretends he's not a hacker.
I'm a hacker? I wish I would be able to hack.
You are. I think you are. But thank you for the props. I appreciate it.
You deserve it, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a quiet day here in DTube land, but that's okay. I don't mind talking to myself. And Team Humble. Always good to have you in here. Tends to give me good points.
You got a cane or something? What's going on with the cane? Have you got like health problems? What's going on?
The cane, eh? That is my back injury from 6 months ago. 4 weeks ago, I finally got surgery. And I did a video on that, kind of talking about it. And it wasn't a great experience for me, but I'm starting to get better now. Yeah, so the cane is so that I can trick my body into using the muscles that haven't worked in 6 months. And trying to speed up the recovery process.
Right. So you're trying to like stop the body from going into atrophy when it comes to your muscle usage.
Oh, I got a call. 1 second, guys.
It's all on the go today. All I can say about the health stuff is 30 days. Just set yourself a 30-day goal calendar on the wall. Set targets. Like, don't just assume you're going to get up and do them. Like, literally set targets on the wall and just be like, this is what I've got to do today, and I've got to do it every single day. Do it for 30 days, and then it becomes a natural everyday thing, you know.
It's like eating a sandwich in the morning, eating a sandwich at lunch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Eating a sandwich
when you're doing a live stream. Yeah.
You made me laugh, mate. And you made me hungry at the same time. It's like,
Oh,
do I watch or do I go into the kitchen?
Get a sandwich. Get something to eat. You gotta eat. Energy to eat.
Well, this bloody scamdemic made me take like 10 kilos already, so need to keep it quiet there still.
Well, the old saying goes, you cannot change an economy without a war. And the war comes in different formats. Today, it's more advanced than ever, from undersea cables to overseas satellites. Like, we're just edge nodes in a messy end of 50 years of capitalism and technological advancement, as they say in brackets.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Elon Musk is sending his 12,000 satellites up to.
I don't know how to go. I don't know how to get away with it. Like any other South African wouldn't have even got past passport control. I have to say though, regardless of what anybody's opinion is about Elon, the fact that he's managed to do what he did, create a really crap payment provider with PayPal, sell it to somebody even more stupid, flip that into spaceships and cars that can be used as a global mesh network, as like an internet of things across the planet. I mean, they're the kind of visionary ideas that we have. It just so happens to be him. And unfortunately, when you have as much money as God, like he does, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time can do all kinds of things to, add fuel to the fire to get people to market manipulate this, that, and the other. I don't know. I guess this is called progress.
Yeah, but we definitely need people like him. It's like pushing us to live our own dreams to become reality. It's like the same with Kim.com. Kim.
I love Kim. Yeah, I love Kim. I followed Kim from really early on, actually, when he was doing his gumball rally stuff in Germany, and he had that like Mercedes with a decent, wireless setup in the back. He was like ahead of his time. Still is probably ahead of his time. The fact that they haven't managed to get him over to the US yet just says a lot of how much he has on whoever. Yeah, regardless, again, it's just another one of the characters in this matrix of people, right?
Definitely, it's excellent. We have folks like them, even if we don't agree or whatever. But this is just excellent stuff, and I'm not agreeing with all of Kim or even Elon. It's so many bullshit they do, but at the same time, they bring us a kind of hope that everybody has the possibility to really have a change one day. You never see.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what we've got now with blockchain and mesh networks and hobbyist projects, LoRaWAN, and all these wonderful bits of technology that are accessible to us that weren't accessible to us when we were teenagers, like the world's your oyster. If you can keep your life lean and you can move around quickly and you can build up a little bit of a stack here, there, and everywhere, wherever, from technology like programming skills to like understanding where your place is in the climate, where the climate's going to, and move around. Like, the world's your oyster right now. There's so much technological stuff you can get involved in. Like, I get mad when people say they can't get a job or they haven't seen this or they haven't seen that. Like, you can learn anything and do anything, be anywhere and be anybody. It's like kind of that was the revolution that, the old school loft guys, LOPHT guys from back in the BBS days, like all when they wrote the manifesto. That's what we were looking to do, and it's here now.
Yeah, I totally agree on that one. No, nothing to complain. Everybody has the whole stage open, so just kick your own ass to go out and find the thing you can do. It's nothing to complain. But I see also the point that like education brings many people, like they sit and wait till somebody's coming telling them what to do. So that why it is one of the big problems we have in society, in my opinion, actually. You know, even if they would be able to do, they don't because nobody told them to.
Yeah, there is an apathy there, but I also think the problem is that the systems need to the systems that are regimented and exist today. Like, if you wanted to do a certain kind of job, you can't even live in an apartment in a flat in London for the amount of money they want to pay you. And then when you actually get that job, you don't realize there's so much more than the job that you need to know about. There's so much more life skills that people need to have, more than the job, more than the career. And until people understand that, like, we will constantly keep having these problems happen in society, you know?
Yeah, I see them. Well, I experienced that actually also. Changing business and stuff to get another job because you can't anymore medical problems or whatever. And then you do, and then they give you a new job, and then they say, "Well, but you coming from another side, we can't help you really." So they kick you out again. You try to find another job, and all over the place they say you too old, or you have not enough experience, or whatever. It's just like.
I think Dookie's back, so I'm just going to hand it over to Dookie.
I was listening. I was enjoying.
You were spying.
Maybe.
Lurker.
Hey, I don't get to do that enough.
Well, you lurking all the time. Come on.
I am.
Hey, I
aren't
lurk all day, every day. You kidding me? I love lurking. It's the best.
Well, master of lurker, to me, that's Wes. I'm probably everybody here knows Wes Philpin, and he's the master lurker. You can mention him without the et, but you mention him somewhere, you can be sure he's just responding 2 seconds after that. No, not even to. You don't need to ping the guy there. He knows already.
He's got his Autobot set up to give him alerts.
Yeah, folks, I need to run actually. It was a pleasure to be here, Dookie. It was a pleasure to meet you, Team Humble. Definitely looking forward to your next video with a sandwich. And wish you all a good night.
Good night,
Always
sir.
a
Good night.
blast. Thank you, both of you, for joining me today. Always a blast, Tim Humble. I really appreciate the dude, my right-hand co-host, helped me significantly with One Love and everything I'm building. Yeah, be sure to support him, Mondo Sean, and the original DTuber, I think also his other account, as a joke, because he's not quite on the original DTuber list yet. Obviously, we got Team Humble, fellow leader. You can support him by voting as leader. Maybe help him push up into consensus while I strive to get higher up in that list and open a spot for him. You know, the battle of leaders. That's it for today. The original DTubers Talk 04 had anime lined up for today, but he did not show, sadly, most likely having internet issues. Don't forget, you want to get yourself featured on these shows. The original DTubers channel has the information, all you need to know, and that relates to voter confidence. You get yourself 10 DTube from the One Love community, and likely to get more curation on a regular basis from ourselves and DTube. So it's worth doing that simple little video for us. That's it for today.